Hello, this video today is going to be about efficiency guide. It's going to essentially walk you through almost everything in the game, the real basics, as well as teach you the mistakes not to do. There's some massive mistakes you can make on accounts, especially right in the beginning. It doesn't ruin your account, but it's a bummer, okay? And I made some of those myself, and I'm gonna walk you through those. On top of that, I'm gonna teach you how to efficiently level all the way to max level and why you want to attempt to do that first before you work on other characters. I'm also gonna give strategies for both free-to-play players as well as pay-to-play players, and I'm gonna do my best to cover both of these. If there's something in particular I don't cover in this video, feel free to leave a comment. I will try my best to respond to these comments with as much written information as I can for you. I appreciate every view, and the channel is growing significantly. We're getting a lot of subscribers, and I appreciate that. Do consider being a part of the channel. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and start the video now. Okay, let's get right to it. The most common question I receive is either 1, how did you get to level 100 quickly? 2, what's the most efficient thing to do in the game? I'm actually going to cover both of these in the same topic because I believe they literally go hand in hand and they're the kind of one and the same thing. So you can consider this video essentially your new player efficiency guide to Marvel Future Revolution. I'm sorry, I got the hiccups. So I figured the way to show you guys leveling is to show you literally how I'm doing it, so it's the most relatable. What I currently do in order to level a character is very simple for efficiency-wise, but I'm going to show you some tips and tricks. So if you're in the beginning, when I say just do your missions, and you're like, this guy doesn't know anything, and move on, just wait, okay? Because there's other things you need to do that will be more efficient, and there's some tips I'm going to throw in here, okay? So first, starting off, let's do the basics for the people that don't know. The 100% fastest way to level your hero level. I'm not talking about squad rank here. I'm talking about your hero level. The 100% fastest way is what you need to do is focus on your epic missions, do 0 of the side quests until you get to Midgardia, and as soon as you get to Midgardia, you do all of your side quests as well as all of the epic missions, and you try to double dip with them. Every time you're AoEing down mobs like the previous one said kill 33 of these people, what you want to do is look and see if there's anybody nearby doing the same missions. A lot of times there is. Invite them to your party. You guys can share kills. The kills that are shared will count towards your quest. And then when each of you moves on to an instance or something like this Crossbones fight, it's fine. It'll drop the party and you move on. Maybe you guys will be on the other side together. I've done probably half of the questing with literally random people I never talked to again while I was leveling, and it made it much faster. I highly recommend this, okay? Now, let's get into some more tips that aren't necessarily just obvious things like do your missions, okay? So there are a few other things you can do that will max out your efficiency. First of all, what I want to explain to you is this is something I didn't even realize until way later. You have your personal inventory, okay? Which your personal inventory, it isn't shared with your other characters. However, what is shared with your other characters is both your normal squad storage. You go to squad here and you go to storage. This way, if you have any other characters with better gear or you level one character all the way, then you go to level another character, don't crunch your badges that you were using at the lower levels. This was a huge mistake I made. I was crunching my badges. I was crunching basically everything, cores, whatever, because I thought I get a new character and I can't share it. I didn't realize there's shared storage until way later. So what you actually want to do is when you level your first character, you only crunch the real garbage stuff, like 1-star, 2-star, maybe even, some 3-star stuff. And then when you get some good drops of like badges or even Omega cards, oh, look at this. We actually failed this mission itself. Let's play the revival. And on top of playing the revival, let's go ahead and buy the better med kits. So that way we can hopefully actually survive here. So what I actually did, if you look at it, I'll show you here, is I went to my squad, and let me show you my character, right? Omega cards, if you look, I got all these good Omega cards. Some of them are commons, etc., whatever. And the rest are badges and all that I had while leveling my first character. At some point, I didn't crunch them all. So what I was actually able to do is throw both the badges as well as the Omega cards in the storage to level my second character. So that's not going to help you at all for your first character, okay? Which is why it's so important on your first character to not waste time. And also, I would tell you, if you're wondering why you're leveling these draw ticket selections and the battle badge and all that, you're like, oh, are these worth it? Anything that's where you're really purchasing anything that's not a 6-star is not really worth it unless we're talking maybe a costume. Keep in mind, most of the times that you actually purchase these things, they don't include, unless they say specifically, they do not include the chance to pull regional outfits. Well, what are regional outfits? Okay, this part's very important for efficiency. Regional outfits are something that drops as you're in the beginning of the game. You get some 1-star, effectively a little bit glowy items. So when you see these glowy looking items, what those are regional gear, which they come from the different regions. Who would have guessed? Midgardia, etc. That's why they're named that way, right? Region costume 1 gives me crit rate, etc. That's pretty good. The most important thing about these region costumes is 1, you don't get rid of them, and 2, that you actually use them by leveling them up and enhancing them, etc. That's another reason you don't crunch your 1 and 2-star costumes. Not only are there achievements for it that you need to do that will give you bonuses and help you level quicker, but on top of it, you need the 1-stars so you can crunch in to make it a 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, and eventually 6-star. And you're going to need to build up all of those costumes, especially if you're 100% free to play. It's important not to crunch them. On top of that, there's something else you can do for efficiency. I'm sorry if this is a little sporadic, but what I'm trying to do is I wanted to give you guys as much good, important information as I can as I'm thinking about it, okay? Because there's lots of information I could tell you. I can't fit it all into one video, but I'm going to do my best to just bring up what I can while I'm doing it. One of the most important tips for efficiency is making sure when you're offline or sleeping or whatever you want to call it, right? AFK, for lack of a better word, you have it on auto fighting minions and you load up on some potions beforehand. The reason is if you didn't know, you can actually gain gold from killing minions. Now, it seems like I haven't figured this part out yet because it seems like certain minions, I went back and was finding the Hydra bosses or the Hydra guys. Here, I'll show you. Actually, I can show you right if you go to the activity log here. Then I go to the Hydra Empire because I was trying to find the Hydra gear. And this is another important part. In the Hydra Empire or any of these empires, they actually drop certain items which are required in order to craft the actual regional costumes. And the reason I'm so hard about the regional costumes is they have higher base stats than the normal costumes. So even the pay-to-win ones where you're like, let me buy this one, it could not be a regional costume. And for that reason, the stats are literally lower. It's an actual literal difference in the stats itself just by one being more glowy with that regional effect. So for that reason, what you want to do when you're sleeping is go and farm whatever set you decide you want to get, okay? Well, you can go Google it, or you can figure it out. I think you can even look in collection, etc., and figure out what set you want for your person in particular. Or another way you can do it is you can actually go to the store itself. You can go here. You can go down to the draw. You can go to costumes, and then you can click here on details, and you can see all of the different costumes as well as the stats. So, for instance, look at this, right? So, New Stark City, plus 600, 15.4%. Now, if we go down to one that's just a normal thing, that's not part of the regional gear, okay, let's say Air Force pilot helmet. Look at that, 515, 14%. Once again, scroll back up, 550, 14%, 615.4. So, and those stats will accelerate the difference of how much bigger it is as it gets higher and higher, right? So as it gets to a 6-star, it's going to be an even bigger difference, okay? So for that reason, you want to go for these sets, plus they typically have the best passive. So how do you get these sets and how do you do it efficiently? Well, let me show you, okay? So what you can do actually is, you know what? One moment, let me change to my other account. Okay, so on Storm, right now I'm currently trying to get the regional gear and I have been farming for it. You can farm overnight to try to get it because what you can do is go back to either Hydra, Midgardia, whatever set you want, right? And just put the auto on and have it kill those minions. Just AFK killing minions, right? You're not going to get a lot of experience, but what you're going to get in some locations, try each minion and find out if you're going to get it, is you're going to get some gold up here. For instance, I slept overnight, came back to 100,000 more gold than I have, which you need gold for literally like everything in this game. And then on top of it, you get in your inventory as well. What it will drop is the regional pieces of gear that you can then use to create something. So you see this consumable material used to craft the Xandareth costume. That's because you can actually craft whatever costume you want. I want the Hydra one. So let me show you how it works, okay? And the reason you need to farm so much of this stuff, which is why I say overnight, do it for both gold, especially if you're free to play, on top of being able to farm these materials, is you go here and look at this, right? I can actually craft a 1 to 3 star Storm costume can require that set rate, but because these boxes normally don't give you that. Like the Omega boxes, Alpha boxes, those don't give you a chance to get them. They only give you a chance to get the normal sets. So what you do is craft them yourself, which take a lot of these guys. And if you run out of these guys, you can actually get more of them by going here, upgrading from the lower ones if you need to, just like that. And that's another reason you need to AFK farm overnight, because you can get and farm crappy 1-star badges and some garbage, which then you can disenchant or dismantle, I should say, and get the lower ranking ones right here. Yes, you can pay the win and actually straight buy these from the store if you want as an unlimited amount, but it's expensive, and I'm trying to be helpful for free-to-play people too. So that's one way to do it. I need more of these large ones, so here we go. Let's make some more large ones. There, now we go. Now, with the materials I farmed overnight, I can go here and I can begin the progress of actually crafting it. It takes time to craft it based upon how many you're crafting, or you can rush it with gold that you got from farming overnight. Another reason, right? And look at this, Modern Tiara 82 Astonishing. So I didn't get any of the regional effect pieces there, and it is a low chance, okay? I've done this a lot. I haven't got a piece yet, but this is how other YouTubers like Rimonix, for instance, he crafted it until he got the full set that he needed. So this is one way to do it. Also, one other thing for free to play, okay? Let me show you here. So this is particularly good for free to play. What you can do is you can go here to the convergence box. And I know they walk you through this with the tutorial, but I want you to understand how this works. And when you extract something, there's the collectibles that you can find while you're doing your missions. It would say collectible and maybe like gold or blue or whatever. Do pick those up because it gives you percentage towards, and you can crunch anything. So like I can go in here and be like, this is a bad piece that I don't want, and I can click on it and crunch it in, and it'll give me plus 6% more, right? And now I have a synchronized particle, which what you can do is essentially you crunch in all the stuff you no longer want, and then you use the synchronized particle to get a free row on something that's showing here. If you want and have diamonds for it, you can click on something you're interested in locking, and it will lock it there so you can try to row it multiple times. You can see 2 out of 5 rows are left on this one for me. So if I roll it here, let's see what we get. I got lucky and I got it. So there it is, and it will stay for 5 attempts until you get it. For instance, check this out, potential reports. These are another thing that are quite important, but that's going to be a different video where I talk about potential and understanding how to level it. Okay, so let me think about what I need to tell you next. I thought of a good one that's important to know. So what do you spend your diamonds on, especially as free to play? So the very first thing you're going to do with your diamonds is you're going to purchase additional character slots. You get 4 characters for free, as you probably know if you're looking for a tips and tricks video, and 4 spots you have to purchase. Each one of those purchases, you have to basically go in here. Where is it? Tokens. It's somewhere in here. Okay, right. So that's synchronized part. Well, okay, forgive me. It's somewhere in here. All right. And one of these, maybe it doesn't show anymore for me, but I bought it, is you buy these tokens, which you can use to get an additional spot basically for the characters. And the characters themselves, you don't actually pay any money on. So you just unlock the spots and they're 400 diamonds each. You get 4 of them. And the reason you want to do that is because when we're talking about squad rank, when you get stuck on the missions and you're like, okay, DM, well, you help me, but now what do I do when I'm stuck and it says I need 52 squad rank or wherever to do the next mission and I've done all the side quests? Well, unfortunately, at that time, what you need to do is go and select your different heroes, because every time you work on a different character, when you go through, you're also still working on your dailies, your challenges, etc. And these do give you more and more squad rank. On top of it, the missions, as you go through the first time, you're going to know some of these missions are going to continually give you the books you can use to enhance your squad rank level. These ones, for instance, you see, I got one right there just from doing the previous quest. So what you can do is level up your other characters just to level your squad rank so you can go back on your main character the level. This is mostly a free to play thing, because if you're spending money, one of the things you want to do when you're spending money is to rush the bottlenecks of squad rank. That way you can get your one character maxed out. You might be asking yourself, well, why do you need one character maxed out first? Can't I just go through and level them all? You can, but it will be slower. And again, if you're free to play, it's required, okay? Keep in mind, free to play will be progressing slower, but you can acquire and do everything in this game 100%. You don't have to spend any money at all, because you can even get 600 diamonds for free just by playing the game and use that to unlock all the other characters, so keep that in mind. But the reason you do where you get one character leveled first is because when you go to squad and you go to squad info and you look here at these squad powers, what these do is it can only go up to your squad rank, okay? So if you have 50 squad rank or whatever, that's the level it can go to, but these apply to every single character and as well as the passives. You see all these passives I get too? These are really big effects, and not only is it important in PvP, but it also gives you a massive bonus in the beginning of your character. I essentially one-shotted everything all up until the recent quest on my newest character because luckily I had that squad power. When I joined, look, I have 124,000 power at level 43, which is fairly high for that level. If you actually click on it, you can see all your stats and you can see exactly where it comes from. Let's see squad power. Here are all the stats I get from my squad power. That's a lot of HP, defense, and attack, etc., especially when we click here and we look at our total stats and we realize we're getting, what is that? That's 20% of our HP is coming from the squad rank alone, which means we're surviving longer. And how much exactly of the defense? 20% of the defense, and we have 500 bonus attack. So a little bit less on that, but that's a pretty good chunk of stats. Okay, let's talk mistakes. Biggest mistakes made. 100% crunching Omega cards. Omega cards, when you combine, are only going to combine common cards. However, in the beginning, you want to look at the common cards because some of the common cards actually have really good fixed effects. Look, critical damage, for instance. That's not a bad card until later on when I can get a set. Sets, yes, there are sets, okay? The sets are where you're going to be getting the majority of your stats. Look at things like the Dark Zone stats. Amazing for PvP, right? This one is even total damage dealt. And some of these cards will in fact drop while you're playing through the game, and you might not pay attention and think, I don't like that one, let me crunch it. Trust me, keep all your Omega cards because every different character needs different builds. Like maybe you want to go a tanky Captain America. Maybe you want to go a squishy burst damage Storm. That's what I did, for instance. And you'll want every single card to be able to build that, for instance. So the other thing you can do as a new player is you can buy storage if you would like to on the cards. And the reason I say that is if you get to a point where you need it, you can get 150 more storage, but you can also take your 4 characters and use them as storage as well. So if you get past the main story just to where you can access the storage, just the not the main story, but the main tutorial in the beginning, then what you can do is take all the stuff. If you don't want to spend diamonds on inventory storage and all that, you can even go into your normal inventory and dump all this stuff into your other storage and just have a mule that holds all of your stuff, for instance. That's possible as well. You can do this on multiple characters. So do not feel like you need to well in this game. But keep in mind, all of the tactics I'm talking about in this video do work differently for free-to-play or pay-to-play. If you're pay-to-play, it's really about which packs are the correct ones efficiently to get you max level as quickly as possible. So then when you level the other quicker, or the other characters, it's quicker, significantly quicker. The leveling for Captain Marvel for me is like, I don't know, 2 or 3 times faster. I mean, it feels way faster now that I have a little bit of stats behind me, and I was able to drag and drop just these cards directly onto my character right in the beginning of the game, just like that, okay? Skills, there's not too much I can explain about skills. I think this is probably something that's been talked about too much on YouTube. I think they're fairly self-explanatory. Figure out your own build. The reason I say that is because if you have to copy and paste builds from other people, you're not actually playing the game. You're not actually looking at your moves. You're not actually figuring out what it is that you want to do in a row with your combos. If you want to be good at the game, you need to figure this out because there's some bosses like LaFay, for instance, when you get to it and all you did was auto through it and just put on the highest level skill and you didn't read it. When you get there, you're going to be like, oh, there are in fact mechanics in this game. This is not just hit auto and come back to my winning. Like at some point you actually have to learn the game and you do need to dodge AoEs. You need to have, dare I say, skill. Okay, let's talk alliances. It is extremely important you get into alliance. Reason being, if you look, there's an alliance shop. The higher level of the alliance is, aka the better alliance it is, and you do level alliances with things like just purchasing packs, for instance, okay? When you get that higher level alliance, then you unlock, holy moly, look at this stuff, okay? Squad rank experience tombs, stuff for, these here are for your specializations, which will be a different video because it's a complicated topic. Then we have potential reports. All of this stuff is crazy, but most crazy it is you can buy these books. I mean, 3 books is valued at effectively about $12 to $15 in their money. I'm not saying that's what it's worth. I'm saying that's what they are valuing it at. And for that reason, being able to buy that for like 150,000 silver, and you can literally get silver for free just by AFKing overnight by killing minions. That's a pretty good deal. Last thing I'm going to mention is these regional costume material boxes. You can buy them, an unlimited amount of them from Alliance level 1. So you can literally just start the game and be able to buy them. Then you go in here and you click, and congratulations, you can pick whatever region you want. I like the Hydra region gear, and just like that, I now have some Hydra pieces, and all I need is the other pieces to go for crafting the gear. So if you don't want to farm them overnight, or you're a well, you can also just flat out buy literally as many as you want. And if you are a well, you can also go here to the store, go down to consumables, scroll over, and you see you can buy these things here. These are pretty important because they're what you use to enhance things or to gamble to try to get the sets. So if you're a massive well, you can literally buy as many of these small ones as you want. The price is way too high, but you can do it. The video is now officially over. If you don't want to hear any bit about my small plug about myself and what this channel will be, feel free to exit the video now. However, what I would like to ask is if you enjoyed this video or if it learned you something, consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me out significantly. We are halfway essentially to my goal of 1,000 subscribers in about 4 days. That is significant. And every like on the video expands my reach on YouTube, showing the video to more people, which will help out either the community of Marvel Future Revolution, and to be honest, will help me out as well. If you're okay with that, consider doing either of those things, as it will help me a lot and will also help you find my material sooner, quicker, and easier from YouTube's algorithm itself in order to find information on how to be better at the game or more efficient at the game or whatever it is you're looking for, even if it's just gameplay or you enjoy me for whatever reason. If you do any of those things, thank you for that. I do appreciate that, and I hope you have a great day. The next video, let me know what you would like to see covered, put it in the comments, and I'll do my best to pump these out.